Hello, everyone. Welcome to another scene for the Sept of Forgotten Stories, a Werewolf the Apocalypse venue set in Dublin, Ireland. In this scene, we have a very special scene. It is the Samhain celebration, and the Fianna like to do it a bit more traditionally, as it is the end of the year in the wheel, and it is a time to honor the dead, our ancestors, those that have come before us. And they have assembled and done a ritual at sunset on Samhain. They have donned red robes and painted their faces in black woad. The master of this rite is Saoirse O'Brien, the tale singer of the Sept, and she calls forth the ancestors for them to mingle and eat and drink and share everything with us as if they were still alive for a time until sunrise. And that is where we will pick up the scene, is right after that invocation, and various spirits begin to appear. We will do our PC introductions. Whoops. How about if I not do that? That would be great. That's okay. I wanted you last anyway. We will start with Colleen.
Oh God, what would Colleen be doing? Well, she would be being respectful because her dad's a Fianna, so she would not have her cell phone or any game systems out.
Oh no, her mother would murder her.
She's in she dressed up nicely for her nice. It's a white dress, but she has one of her corsets on over it. That was her compromise with mom.
Mm-hmm.
And she would be mainly waiting till it's time to call out and try to contact her sister.
Well, she's already been contacted. The master of the rite has already called forth everyone that wants to come forward, and saying specific names of those that needed to be called. So she's already there. So I'm sure that she's just kind of waiting to be allowed while we introduce everybody else.
Yep.
Next is Estella.
Estella is sitting at the campfire. She's got a very warm bomber jacket on that's fleece lined. Under that, she has a flannel shirt and pretty much like lumberjack plaid flannel. And underneath that, she has a white t-shirt, and she's all bundled up because it's cold. And she has her dark skinny jeans on and combat boots. She's waiting to speak with whoever comes forward for her. She's excited but also very nervous. She's hoping that she doesn't see her uncle come forward because that would be devastating for everyone. She's sitting with her family with I'm assuming all of the Gondolas and Tremblays showed up. So she's sitting with them and she's just waiting patiently.
Yeah, they would all be there with her. But next is Orat. Nelson.
Sorry, I have muted myself. My computer was being a bit slow, but yes, Orat is here. He is actually for the first time ever, because he tried to get his mom to come and contacted other people. So he's probably, some of his friends probably got him a suit, I'll say. And so he's in the first time ever in a suit. He doesn't look super comfortable, but he looks happy because he's look all dressed up for his mother that he's hoping will love him.
Aw. And last but certainly not least, we have Maeve.
Yes, Maeve is with Bailey because, of course, she is. She just recently arrived home from a little trip out of town. So she is very much, sat on Bailey's lap and not super intent on moving just yet. She is probably sitting with Bailey, her brother, Avery.
And probably the rest of the Gonzalez clan.
Probably.
Everybody's just kind of there in a pile. Let's see.
And she is probably, dressed warmly for her anyway.
Oops.
Sundress, a jacket.
Yes, it is. It is relatively chilly outside, as it is October in Ireland.
Yep, it is in the 40s. High 40s, but the 40s no less.
Yeah. Red will see her
Yes.
and immediately move towards her.
She will smile and stand up and give him a hug.
Hello. I'm glad you're back.
Glad to be back.
And he'll extend his arms. Look, I'm all dressed up.
She smiles. You look great.
I'm hoping I see my mother.
She kind of takes a deep breath because honestly, she's hoping the same, that she will get to meet her mother.
Oh, and you have to meet Milan.
We can do that later.
He'll nod.
And she will go back and she will sit down on Bailey's lap again.
She's a Fiona, so he'll probably go. It's that one over there.
She smiles.
So after the rite has the rite for the spirit feast has been done, there is a lot of food, a lot of it. It is like Bailey.
Did Bailey go a little crazy?
Bailey wanted to make sure that there was enough. He didn't know how many ancestors were showing up. And he knows he very much knows the appetite that the Fianna tend to have, since, his pack is full of them. So yes, Bailey had been working all week on this. Was probably what he did to fill a lot of the time Maeve was gone, was he cooked. So yeah, Bailey had just wrapped his arms around Maeve. Bailey himself isn't expecting to see anybody. There's not really anybody he can think of that he'd like to talk to. Especially since, his grandfather didn't make the best name for his family, so he's just like, no, good. But we will do the Gonzalez ancestor last because it's probably going to be the longest.
There's way too many of us.
So I'm actually just going to go across my screen of whose ancestors we will do first. But leaving Stella for last. So the first one, oh, come on, Minicam. It doesn't want to switch. There we go. So this is the first one that we have. We have Sky, who is a recently deceased Garu of the Sept. She is the daughter of the Sept Beta, Zara Murray, sister to Colleen Murray, and was a member of the Pack of the Spears of Fury, which is a mostly Fianna pack. And Saoirse doesn't approach Sky first. She's going to wait until her family has had a chance to speak with her before she decides to.
Colleen will make sure her parents don't want to go first before she goes anywhere near the situation. Because she knows this has been hitting Mom hard.
Yeah, which she sort of expected to see her here, but she lets Colleen go first because she's just not. Yeah, she's
not quite ready.
No. She's gonna let Colleen go first. She just squeezes her shoulder and gives her a nod.
Well, there goes all of Colleen's decorum. Colleen is going to run full speed at Sky and tackle hug.
Which Sky will give a big smile, and when she sees Colleen running, she will start running towards her in almost a very slow motion fashion.
Hashtag how to confuse every Gonzalez.
They were raised by a ragabash. What can I say? But she hugs her so tightly.
I can feel Razvan and his friends somewhere in the background just watching with popcorn. But no,
he's not that insensitive.
Pretty much, she is tightly hugging her sister, like petting her hair, inhaling. It is almost like they were Siamese twins kind of situation there. She does not want to let Sky go.
She hugs her tightly and I missed you, kiddo.
Who said you could go and do something heroic and stupid?
You mean like helping to save the world?
Yes.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So Colleen is now crying in this guy's neck, and she's like, "You didn't save the world, though. You were my world."
That's gonna cause Sky to tear up. And she just takes her and sits down with her. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to leave you. I just... Did what?
I mean, I'm proud of you. You did great, but my world and Mom's world, and it's in little bitty pieces. You did the heroic thing, yeah, but there's nothing but dark and loneliness now.
Sorry, baby.
It's okay.
But you're not alone. You have Mom and Dad and everybody here. I'm pretty much alone. Sure, I have the ability to come back, but it's not the same. And I don't know anybody in the ancestral lands. I would much rather be here with you and Mom and Dad. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I should have been there. I should have been watching your back and pulling you away from danger when it got too much.
I'm honestly glad that you weren't, because then if you died, I would never get to see you again. You're a glasswalker, Colleen. You don't get to come back. Not like this.
I may not have got to come back, but I would have seen you again somewhere on the other side. We all know it. Nothing would have kept us apart.
I hope you're right. But for now, just stay alive so I can visit you, okay?
Well, now I have to.
She nods. Yes, you do.
You know I don't blame you, right? I mean, I got bitchy and would act like I did, but I never blamed you for what happened at that party.
She nods. Good.
Well, like Colleen's trying to wipe her running mascara and tears off her tattoo marks. I probably should let Mom talk to you some, because Mom has been way worse off than me. All I did was hide in my room and cry and such. Mom, I don't know where Mom went to hide.
It's about that time that their mom comes over and she just wraps her arms around both of them. And she just holds them. And she doesn't say much. She just holds them both. Which causes Sky to cry even more.
Colleen's nothing but a waterfall right now. Pretty sure her dad's trying to hide his manly facade.
He's letting them have their moment, but after about a minute or so, he comes over too, and just, if he can, he gets his arms around all three of them. See if I can get his overlay up too. There we go. So yeah, he will just sit there with his family. And I think that would probably be a good place to just leave
Switch
them.
next.
Yeah, leave them there for a while. They'll eventually get up, and Zach will make all of them eat. But for a while, we'll just leave them there. The next one we will do. Oh, why not?
Alright. Alright, he's looking around because he realizes he doesn't know what his mother looks like. He's like, she must look somewhat like me, maybe a bit like Uncle, but he doesn't really know. So he's looking around, trying to look for someone that kind of looks like him.
If Minicam will switch. There we go. So he sees a woman looking around a little bit curiously. She looks very out of place. And it definitely smells like a Get Fenris. Which to some of the Fianna that are there, very curious about a Get Fenris ancestor showing up here.
So he'll approach her.
As soon as she sees him, like before he even says anything, it's like she recognizes him, like his spirit, his essence inside of him. Then her face lights up.
When he sees that, he comes running.
She'll open her arms for him.
He'll hug her like tight. I'd say they probably speak Russian because, well, that's where they're from. And he'll say, "Hey, hello. I never thought I'm happy to meet you."
I never thought I'd get the chance to meet you.
I don't think Uncle would have allowed it.
She sort of stiffens when... Well, no, she very much stiffens when he mentions his uncle.
I'm here now. It's a better place.
It must be, since I was able to come through.
He'll nod. Athena's avenging Raya arranged for me to come here. She has friends here.
She nods. Did they give you a name?
They're thinking of calling me Dimitri, but Uncle called me. He killed Natasha when she was holding me, and because I was crying, he called me Orat.
She growls. That, of course he did.
But when I became a Black Fury, because Athena's avenging arm was the only guru that took care of me, so I decided to join her tribe. And when I went through my rite of passage, she called me Athena's peer.
It's very fitting. I'm sorry that you were treated so badly.
Uncle used to say it was my fault he had to kill you.
No, it was never your fault. And he didn't have to kill me. He did it so that the truth wouldn't be found out.
I don't know who father is. He never told me. I was never told.
She holds him a bit closer and tears well in her eyes.
He hugs her tighter when he sees that.
The other Garu that made you is the same one that you call your uncle.
He'll break down at that point and just hugs her tight. I'm sorry.
I tried to get away. But he had me brought back. I thought he would kill both of us.
Well,
You are.
He kept me in a cage most of the time.
Of course he did. I'm so sorry.
There's somebody you should meet. She adopted me. I think. He'll smile.
She smiles and she'll nod.
And he'll go to Maeve. Hello, Maeve. This is my mother.
She smiles a little bit.
I'm Frida. I'm a Theurge with Gadafenris.
Kinfolk of the Fianna.
She smiles and nods. It's very nice to meet you. I heard that you were nice to my boy.
I do try.
You do a good job. He'll smile.
Sorry, I have a tiny human trying to eat my nose.
Oh, it's okay. She looks to her son. I had a name for you.
He looks like his eyes going big. What was it?
It's Friedolf. It means peaceful wolf.
And he'll nod. I like it.
It's a little bit after me as well. I definitely wasn't naming you after him.
No, I'll be proud of being named after you.
She smiles. I'm sorry that I couldn't do more, and that you had to grow up in that awful place.
It wasn't your fault. It was his.
She nods and she tries to accept that, but she'll always feel like that she could have done more.
I think I just met you, but I think I love you, Mum.
I love you too. I have since before you were born.
Maybe that's why I love you straight away. He'll smile and nod.
She nods and hugs him tightly. Let's go get something to eat, huh?
And he'll nod and go with her.
Damn it. I was just about to go to her, too.
Yeah.
We could do the touching moment of Sky learning about Colleen's special friend.
Oh, yeah, you can drag Sky over to meet Raz. Well, she knows him, but...
Well, she was telling him about him and then decided I might as well do dad and her at the same time of introduction.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because what better to keep dad calm than a dead sister visiting?
For sure.
So she'll take her dad's hand and she'll take Sky's hand, tell him she has a surprise for him.
I'm pretty sure Zara already knows, but she's gonna tag along anyway.
Zara knows she went on a date. That's as far as she knows. Her and
That's
her dad
true.
know.
Though she's not stupid, she probably has an idea of who it was.
Yeah, and I'm sure Razvan is with his family, whatever family or friends are here. And she'll come up and she goes, all right, so we're going to do this in the safest environment I can think of. Dad, this is Razvan. Raz, these are my parents and my sister.
So Zach and Zara sort of give Razvan the same look as they have in their overlays.
The judge.
Mm-hmm. Sky will smile very widely and wrap her arms around him, giving him a hug. And she whispers in his ear, "It's about time." And he just smiles and chuckles.
She's looking between Sky and him. And she's like, sis, you already know him, don't you?
Of course I do.
Oh, God.
He's been around a while.
I knew that. I just didn't expect you to know as many people as you know. Oh no, wait, you're Fiona.
Exactly. I know everybody. He just shakes his head. And
could you say something without judging us silently over there?
They both look to her. Raz doesn't seem intimidated by them.
She inhales and goes, oh, this is going to be great. Maeve and Bailey approve of him.
Raz will straighten up and he'll look to both of them and he will say, I am very interested in your daughter. I won't hurt her because I think my own father would kill me before you ever got a chance to lay a hand on me. My father is Tolia Petrova. And you see both of their eyes go wide.
The lead side-eyeing him now like, wait, what? Well,
He gives her a smirk.
That is not a words I expected to come out of your mouth. And no, he's not hurt me in any way. The closest to pain I'm going to be getting from him, Mom, is he offered to do the tattoo I've been designing for myself.
Any pain inflicted on her will be consensual.
Yes.
And they both just shake their head and kind of blink. Zara will say, right, so we should be probably expecting a visit because your sister was claimed by Leon. Oh boy. That means she just nods.
I mean, his sister's nice. I like her.
Colleen, are you aware of who Tolia Petrova is?
I know he's a high-ranking, Adrian. That's about it.
No, he is a legend of the nation. He's a Shadow Lord.
Oh, fuck me sideways.
Exactly.
I can hear the dirty joke trying not to come out in my corner vision.
I mean, Raz shoots her a look like I will later.
Um, so what kind of respect do you pay a legend? Just a normal introduction, or do you give him a big bottle of brandy while you introduce yourself?
Raz just smiles and squeezes Colleen's shoulder. My father doesn't go for any of that fancy shit. Just treat him like a person.
Oh, that's easy.
And though he doesn't drink often, he does sometimes, and of course he appreciates vodka. To that, Zach will chuckle and shake his head. He'll say, whiskey's better.
Oh, that just means I need to go buy some instead of just taking out of Dad's stash to give people still.
He looks at her. Are you, Zach? He looks to his daughter. Why you been taken from my stash?
I had to bribe Leon.
Why?
She motions at Raz.
Oh, so that he wouldn't kill you or him.
Yes?
Gotcha. He just nods. Fuck me. Had to go.
I used a can of it as bait to set a trap for Callum. He's apparently been sneaking around the house again.
Zara pinches the bridge of her nose. I swear that that little boy just likes to agitate me. I think he's a masochist.
I think so. He also mentioned something about being in love with you and Dad.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I kind of take it as a compliment. My parents are that attractive to him, but
He's younger than you are.
no, he's not. She mutters quietly.
He's not?
He's older than me by like 6 months.
Wow. His immaturity speaks for itself then.
At least he's been being nice and staying out of Sky's room lately. But I think most people have been staying out of Sky's room. So, we've all learned the awkwardness of family tonight, it seems. She says, like, looking between her family and then Raz. Well, I guess while I wait for Lindsay, Shayna's, Maeve, and Orak can finish talking some.
I'm back.
That was a fast wait. Okay. Yeah, no.
Sorry, I had to run off suddenly. I'm back now.
Yeah. So she said basically that family introductions and new things learned has been done successfully, basically, motioning kind of between them.
Yeah, and Zara and Zach are now reeling with the fact that they're going to be connected to the Petrova family. Fuck.
The Petrovas take over all families eventually. And as soon as her parents aren't looking, though, she is going to take Raz's hand and hold it.
Aw. But she will gladly hold it, and he'll pull her into him. He doesn't care if they're looking.
Yeah, Colleen's a little more shy about that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll let it happen, and I'm sure Sky is getting an eye full of in blackmail material for whenever she visits again.
Right. You don't want it? Okay. Don't have to have it.
She's before you switch, the last thing Colleen is going to do is whisper to Raz that after this, do they want to go to his office?
That would be a nod.
We can figure out how to, I guess, make this official later.
He'll nod. And next, Minicam is really pissing me off tonight. Okay. Here's who we have next. And Maeve will feel Nate squeeze her hand.
Yeah, Maeve had kind of just been silently talking with, or quietly talking with Bailey. Sorry,
Yeah,
Kieran is all in a mood right now, so
it's okay. Yeah, he squeezes Maeve's hand and she sees a look on his face and tears in his eyes.
she kind of looks back at him.
And he'll say to her, "Do you want to meet your ma?"
She bites her lip. And she's not sure she can talk right now without starting to cry, so she just nods.
Nate will take her hand, and as soon as Neve sees Nate and Maeve both, she just wraps her arms around them.
And that's all it takes. Maeve is sobbing. Stop trying to knock my table over. Come here.
Where is...
Oh dear, my son found a golf ball.
Uh-oh. That can go either. That could go very poorly.
Can.
Get away from the windows. I repeat, get away from the windows.
I mean, I'm outside, so luckily all of the windows are too high up. He's not that strong, but now I don't see him. Where'd he go? Kieran? Okay, there you are. Please don't drop that on my toes.
He's just going on a fenced-in yard adventure, Mom.
I mean, we're also on the porch right now, which is screened in, so. Are you having trouble finding
There
Nate?
we go. Okay. I didn't have him up. I had to add him because he's in my universal folder.
Oh, no. Do not eat your sister's fairies. Don't do that, please. But yeah, she just starts sobbing the second their mother wraps her arms around them.
She holds them both, and Nate is absolutely sobbing against her. And she looks to Maeve and to Nate, both of them just back and forth. You're all grown up. And she smiles at Maeve and looks to her belly.
It's twins.
Oh, wow. Twins.
They kind of sort of run in Bailey's family.
She sort of tilts her head. Bailey.
He's my mate.
Tell me about him.
Well, he is in Nate's pack. And he is a Shadow Lord Philodox. And he is... Stop hitting my microphone. Stop it. He is the sweetest, kindest, most amazing man I've ever met. Except maybe this big jerk here, which kind of nudges Nate.
Nate blushes. I'm mated to Bailey's little sister. And Neve just shakes her head.
Still honestly didn't think you'd have the guts to ask.
See a shy one now.
She nods.
Nate just blushes deeper. She wraps her arms around him, which Neve isn't a whole lot taller than Maeve is. So maybe a couple of inches.
That and, well, their da's kind of intimidating. He's only kin, but don't let that fool you.
Oh, I don't. Never underestimate kinfolk. Which,
She
speaking
kind
of
of
kin,
smiles a little bit.
she grins to Maeve. I can imagine that you've got them all under your thumb, huh?
Well, I help out the den mother a lot.
That's good.
Bailey's mom, Alyssa.
She nods and smiles.
That was how Bailey and I met.
And I imagine how this one met his sister. And Nate just nods. I uh I headed off with Bailey and we formed a pack together a little bit later on and sort of which I couldn't dare say her until she was a certain age anyway.
Oh, you mean legal?
Neve just raises a brow.
Considering you met her when she was, what, 13?
Bye. Then I'm 6 years older than her. Neve smacks him on the shoulder.
Oh, it was very much mutual.
And she goes, and he goes, "Ow, Ma, I waited till she was 18. Well, 19 actually. Jinx.
Jinx.
That sends Neve dying laughing that the two of them just did that twice. And Nate wraps his arm around Maeve.
I said it first.
That you did.
The soda's mine.
Neve looks to the two of them with a big smile on her face, but then she sort of chews her lip. How's your da?
Maeve kind of looks to Nate.
Nate tears up a bit. Well, he's getting better. He was not well for a long time. After you passed, he started drinking a lot and didn't stop. Neve tears up and closes her eyes. It was probably because he couldn't sleep.
I started helping with that just before he checked into a new inpatient rehab facility run by a Theurge of the Children of Gaia.
Nobody knew that about him because he didn't want to tell anybody. He was ashamed of it, and so nobody knew except for me, and I died.
Maeve just kind
glad
of
he's getting
wraps her
better.
arms around her
I'm sorry.
as much as she can, anyway.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I left you all.
It's not your fault.
I know I was just doing what I was supposed to. You all survived, but at what cost?
She just hugs her tighter.
Nate does too. Neve just cries for a little while.
But he's getting help now.
That's good. I'm very glad to hear that. I never meant to leave any of you.
She just kind of hugs her for a while.
Why don't you, she wipes her eyes and say, why don't you introduce me to your mates?
Maeve looks over at Nate.
Nate will nod. All right. I'm sure that, I'm sure she'd love to meet you. Just be warned, she's not able to walk right now. Neve will frown. She was in a really bad accident and is now in a wheelchair. But gonna try to figure something out. I'm a Thayerge after all. Neve will smile. Well, it doesn't matter to me. So, come on, let's go.
Stop. You're fine. Go. And they're probably, sitting next to each other anyway, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm very sure they are. Let's see. Add one more overlay. Bailey.
No, he's so cute.
And go over to Avery and Maeve. So Nate and Maeve walk over with someone who looks a lot like Maeve.
Yeah, Avery's a little taken aback by just how much they look alike.
So is Bailey. Bailey furrows his brow and he looks between them. I'm pretty sure she's your mom, but wow, she could be your twin.
Yes, she's my mom.
He smiles and stands up, and he will smile to her and give her his proper introduction. And no, he isn't.
Ew. No.
Say I'm Bailey Gonzalez, dated quiet voice of reason. Born on 2 legs under the half moon. I'm a Fostern of the Shadow Lords. And he gives her a respectful nod. Doesn't matter to him what her rank is. She's a spirit. And she's his mate's mother. And she will return the respectful nod and she'll say, I'm Neve O'Brien, dated sings this glorious stag, born on 2 legs under the gibbous moon. Adrian of the Fiona. It's a pleasure to meet you, Bailey. And she will just then give him a hug. And he hugs her back. And he'll say, I'm pretty sure that Nate's already told you that he's with my sister, so.
Avery will kind of give a little wave.
He points her in Avery's direction, which is right there.
I'm Avery Gonzalez, Shadow Lord Kinfolk, and this big dope's little sister.
She smiles. And she'll give her a hug as well.
But she will gladly return the hug.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well, Avery.
And I you. Okay, he has wandered off and decided to stop being a little butthead. Maybe.
Maybe.
He has at the very least wandered off.
Bailey will smile and will look to Nate and Maeve. I didn't realize that both of our mothers were Galliards.
Maeve just smiles a little bit.
Neve will smile and she'll say, "Oh, your ma's a Galliard too." Yeah, she's children of Gaia. She was born Shadow Lord, but she joined the Children of Gaia instead. But that doesn't make her any less intimidating. And Nate shakes his head. No, it doesn't.
Avery just kind of glances over at him.
What?
I mean, considering it was my dad who was scaring the pants off of you when you wanted to ask them to be my mate.
He just wouldn't stop staring at me, okay? Like, it was.
Why do you think I told him to stop?
I know. But I've seen her mom when she gets angry. I don't want that on me. No, thank you.
I mean, don't hurt me and I'll should be copacetic.
I don't plan on it.
She just winks at him.
He shakes his head. Bailey chuckles. And I'll just do this since she heard herself being talked about. Alyssa will just come over. Minicam, you and I are gonna fight. There we go. So, yes, Alyssa comes over. And Nate, he looks to everybody assembled and he puts an arm around Bailey and he says, "Why are we always constantly surrounded by tiny yet intimidating women?" Bailey shakes his head. I don't know.
Maeve looks over at him. It's got something to do with your taste. I think you just like being scared.
Right. I don't know any other way of life. And Tezzles just shakes her head and laughs.
Maeve will go over and hug Alyssa.
She'll hug her back.
Were your ears burning?
Indeed they were. I thought I heard not necessarily my name come up, but
Indeed, apparently my brother's afraid of you.
well, he should be. She gives him a look and he glares at Maeve like, "Why do you do that to me?"
I do it because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't do it, you'd question if I did. You're
right about that. So
Alyssa, don't give
Alyssa
me that
grins.
look.
She grins and shakes her head. And well, are you going to introduce me? Or am I just going to stand here and look at this very attractive woman I don't know standing in front of me?
Alyssa, this is my mom.
She smiles. She tears up a bit. She could tell that she was Maeve's mom, of course, who wouldn't be able to tell. But she just goes over to her and hugs her. She doesn't bother to introduce herself first. Neve gladly returns the hug. And she says it quietly but loud enough for everybody within immediate earshot to hear. Thank you for taking care of them when I couldn't. Alyssa just nods. I wasn't there as much as I wish I'd been there for their whole lives, but at least for the past 6 years I've been here. And they both just hug each other very tightly for a minute.
Maeve just kind of reaches over and takes her brother's hand.
He squeezes it. He's fucking crying again.
So is she.
So is Bailey, honestly.
Avery probably is as well, because oof.
Yep. So so yeah, I think for the moment we can leave them just kind of
Crying and hugging.
Mm-hmm. And we can go to our last one before we do the big one. Which will be actually I'd say that, let's see. Alyssa probably actually would have noticed Lorcan as she was hugging Neve. And she'll say, "Excuse me for one moment." And she runs over and hugs him, which he gladly returns the hug. And she'll say, "I know you have family that wants to talk to you, but I had to give you a hug as soon as I saw you. I've missed you a lot." And he nods. "I've missed you too. I've missed all of you. I'm pretty sure that everybody that is killed in battle says that they're sorry for leaving, but I am sorry for leaving." And she just shakes her head, squeezes his shoulders. "It's okay. You did what you had to do." And she'll kiss his cheek and move off. She'll talk to him more later. She'll probably smile at Ava on her way.
At which point, His sister literally just wraps her arms around him.
He doesn't even have time to react. He's just like, oof. Oh, Ava.
Yeah, that's my name.
He hugs her back. What are you doing here? I mean, I know that you came here for my funeral, but it's been, I know that time passes weird in the ancestral homelands, but why are you still here?
Avoiding our father.
Okay, that's fair. That's why I was here too. He just grins. Is there any other reason why you're here besides that?
She blushes. Not particularly.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, she might have on a turtleneck, but it's not quite enough to cover the marks on her neck.
He just like gently pulls that aside. Uh-huh.
I may also have gotten into a relationship with Kieran Donovan.
His brows shoot up. Really?
What?
No, I'm just surprised that it finally happened. I honestly didn't think it would.
Shut up.
Oh, come on. You'd have to be
Finally.
blind to not see the two of you pining for each other for years. But
You know
the
what?
dot would never allow that. Especially after they no longer spoke to each other.
No, it was another reason I came down here was to get away from someone else up there.
Oh.
You don't need to know. There's nothing you can do anyway.
I beg to differ.
Just
You don't think
worry
you
about
have
it.
any power out here? Don't worry about it. You're my sister. Of course I'm gonna worry about it.
Besides, there's someone
You can
else who
tell
wants
me.
to see ya.
Say, you can tell me, or I can just haunt Kieran, and then he'll tell me. Because I know he knows.
Besides, there are a couple other people who want to see you. And at that point, Imogen comes running over and literally just like jumps on his back.
He looks behind him and he smiles so big. And pulls her around and gives her the biggest hug. Tight squeeze.
She just giggles. Hey.
Hey there.
I
How are you
didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Well, especially in this tribe, all things are possible.
Fair enough. I Might have met someone.
His brows go up again. Did you know?
She nods. Her little face just turns bright red.
Oh, let me go over to yours.
Brandon is sitting back, letting them have their moment.
I'm sure Eileen's not too far away.
Probably not.
Lorcan looks to Imogen. And what is their name?
His name is Rory Brown.
He nods. And you like him?
She nods a lot.
Good. At least it's not someone that my fucking father set you up with.
Ava sighs. Not that he didn't try.
Of course he did.
It's when I finally called it quits and left.
Is that who you're avoiding?
Other than our father?
I'm guessing he set you up with someone.
Yeah. One of his friends.
Which means he's an absolute tool.
You can say that again.
Lorcan lights up when he sees Brandon. Holy shite. He goes over to him and gives him a big hug.
How are you doing, you little shit?
I'm dead, so better than ever.
Other than that, you cunt.
I mean, I miss being here with my pack and
I can see that.
friends, family. But you know, the homelands are all right. I'm an elder there. I guess that's what I guess I earned enough praise from the spirits to be an elder after my death, so. What about you? Fuck are you doing here? Is a McFinn invasion here at Forgotten Stories?
Kinda. Mostly trying to get away from my senile brother. Your senile father.
That can only mean he's gotten worse.
The older he gets, the more of a cunt he becomes.
Ugh, someone should just kill him and be done with it. But not. Oh, wait a minute. Then I'd have to deal with him. No.
Then you'd have to deal with him. That's the problem. We don't want to
Lock him in a
curse you with
cage.
that.
Can we lock it? How about you lock him in a cage forever? Make sure he can't die. Just keep him in purgatory.
If I'd found a way, you'd think I wouldn't have done it by now.
I'm sure you would have, and you'd have found a way too. What about you? You met anybody that your brother hasn't tried to set you up with anyway?
Do you know how many women that fucker tried to push on me?
I imagine quite a few.
That he did. I told him to fuck off every time.
Good. Probably all rotten anyway.
Ugh. They were all his age. Like, come on. I'm younger than you
What?
cunt.
What is it with him and pushing these old people on us that aren't as old? Because he tried to do the same thing to me. That's why I left. Came over here with Karen. Because, no, I didn't want.
But there
I didn't
might
want to be
be.
with. He raises a brow. Oh,
It's none of your business.
fuck if it ain't.
You don't need to know my sex life.
I don't need to know about. I don't need to know the details, but who is it? Who are you with?
He kind of glances back at Eileen.
She's very trying to pretend like she's just kind of there. He blinks.
Would you quit pretending and get your arse up here, woman?
She blushes very deeply and comes over. And I'll put her up on the screen so people can see what she looks like.
It's Mae's aunt.
It is. So Lorcan tilts his head when Eileen comes over. He is very confused.
Especially since, Brandon just ordered her around.
Oh yeah,
And he's
especially
kin.
that. Mm-hmm. And he knows her to be, yeah,
Not as traditional
Lorcan
as
is,
she used to be, but still pretty traditional.
fair. She definitely didn't seem like the type that would let a kinfolk order her around like that.
Brandon will kind of wrap his arm around her.
Yeah, she leans into him. And Lorcan is just looking between them, and he's like, how and when?
2 weeks ago, maybe? Something like that.
She nods. Aye, thereabouts. A couple weeks ago. Lorcan looks to Brandon. I remember you mentioning someone, but you wouldn't tell me who. That you wanted, but you couldn't have.
Well, I guess we both know who it was now.
That we do. He just nods, grins, shakes his head, like, oh god. Eileen blushes. And
At least I had reason not to pursue her initially. Unlike someone, as he looks over at Ava. Fuck off.
Lorcan grins, wraps his arm around his sister. And he'll say, well, why don't we all go get a drink?
That sounds really good. Not you. She points at Imogen, who just pouts.
Funny thing is that none of the women should be drinking.
I think Ava knows yet, though.
It hasn't. I don't think it's been long enough. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
so
gonna-
either.
Let's see. Had closed all my tabs earlier, so I don't have it open anymore. Find the link again.
Should be in our Discord.
It is. Just trying to get my computer to get there. There it is.
Oh, you're fine. What's the matter?
For Ava, October 13th. Almost.
Yeah, almost. But not quite.
And October, it was the next day for Imogen.
I mean, Imogen's 16. She's not allowed to drink anyway.
No, but it's just funny.
That's why she said not you.
Yep. Not even in Ireland.
Nope.
And Lorcan will actually look to Ava and will say, oh, come on. She's on Sept. She's around her family. One couldn't hurt, could it?
She's 16.
She's a Fiona.
That's not an excuse.
She's on Sept. She's not driving. She's around her parents and her family. It won't kill her. It won't kill you.
Fine. You get to keep an eye on her.
Okay, I'm not fucking going anywhere till sunrise.
Just make note. I said this is a bad idea. Let it be known.
I'm not going to let her get drunk. She should have one. He picks up Imogen, puts her on his shoulders.
She smiles.
And they will all head off to get a drink. And then we will go to our last ancestor spirit. And he approaches the, gang of Gonzalez's and their families. Like, this who
The
happens to be
gaggle of
around them.
O'Briens and Gonzalez's.
Yeah, pretty much. And though he does not speak English, everyone can understand him. He only can speak Spanish because
Maeve's working on Spanish.
He never learned English because it was forever ago. He didn't need to. This is Estella, Avery, Bailey, and Celeste's great-great-grandfather. But he instantly knows who his family is. I mean, look at him. He looks like all of them. It's fantastic. It's okay. You're okay. But his eyes fall directly onto Stella first.
Stella will stand up and, out of character, is she able to speak English and him understand her?
Yep. You can talk to each other freely. It's as if you're speaking the same language.
Okay, she,
Essentially, everybody has spirit speech.
okay. That works. She's gonna stand up and, like, dip her head to him, and she's, gonna welcome him to the sept for the night and introduce herself. I'm Miss Stella Gonzalez, Shadow Lord, Theurge, Clea, Homage. Thank you for coming through.
He will say for having me through. It is my understanding that you have a connection to my twin sister.
To both of you, I believe. I've known of the story for about 8 to 10 years now, but it's never been. She hasn't. In all honesty, she hasn't come forward much. I'm assuming that's because of her nature, but I'm unsure.
He nods. Well, I am Santiago Gonzalez, deeded calm before the storm. Born on 2 legs under the half moon. Athro of the Shadow Lords. I am your great-great-grandfather. Bailey kind of furrows his brow and looks to him. Like, oh, he's a Philodox like me.
She's gonna nod and just ask him to sit with them. She's been around spirits because, like, she has, like, the out of character, she has the merits and stuff. She's been around spirits, but she's not been around ones that come through fully as if human. If that
Right.
makes sense. The way they do
Not a
on
lot.
Samhain.
Yeah, not a lot of people, not a lot of lower ranking Theurges have a lot of experience with ancestor spirits, because they normally have to be summoned, and rite of summoning is a level 2 rite. So, and it doesn't always work. So, but he will sit, and he will look to everybody assembled, which Alyssa, Sebastian, and Rose are all sort of watching intently. Um, and so is Bailey. Could probably put let's see. I had yes, them plus Hayden and Harmony are also there. But I'm just gonna leave up Santiago, and he will look too. And I'll just say that they go through and everyone introduces themselves. We won't go through all of that because it's a lot of introductions to get through. So we won't do that. Oh, he looks back to Estella. So what would you like to know?
How did you survive out there?
Well, it's back then it wasn't as easy to survive as it is now, but I suppose it might be a little cliche to say by my cunning and wit. But
no,
it's
that
true.
would be appropriate for us. I would assume.
But my poor sister, she looked for me for a very long time. Drove herself mad. Alyssa sort of tenses up. Like, oh, this sounds fucking familiar. Except she didn't drive herself crazy looking for her brother. Not yet, anyway.
Estella, she doesn't notice that, but she's nodding along because she's kind of like, you see, I don't ask out of sheer curiosity, although that is an intriguing, a driving force as well. I'm currently looking for Alyssa's brother, and I have ventured to Pangea and found nothing but a few traces of his existence there, and I'm not sure where to go next. And the skill set that I have is more for this earth than the Umbra. And I feel like if there's some advice or knowledge that you may have of Javier's whereabouts, then it would be of great help.
He nods. He looks to the rest of them. There are many secrets that I'm sure none of you know about the Gonzalez family. You know what you've been told. But I've been watching for a very long time. I check up on my family and see what they get up to. My sister, Selena, because she could not find me and went crazy doing so, trying to do so, decided that every generation after ours would have a set of twins, a boy and a girl, and somehow they would become separated, estranged, unable to get to each other, so that they would suffer as she did.
Estella looks visibly upset as she thinks back to her cousin Celeste and her venture off into the Umbra on her own,
Mm-hmm.
like a bright dumbass. And she's going to she's gonna look to Bailey with kind of like a worried face, and then look back to Santiago and ask him, is there any way for that to be undone or broken or shattered?
She has attached herself to you for some reason. I don't know. The best way I'm no Theurge, so I don't know. But she is. Bailey furrows his brow like, wait a minute. um he's like, hang on. I'm a Philodox, my twin's a Theurge. He's a Philodox. His twin that went crazy is a Theurge. What the fuck? He doesn't say anything, but he's just like, he's like increasingly inching forward, like sitting forward with more and more growing interest as this goes on. And Santiago will say, you might want to try to get through to her and convince her that making generations suffer because we were separated is not the way to go about it. And possibly reuniting not only Javier with Alyssa, but also Celeste with Bailey.
Have you two been reunited?
We have not.
Will you stay if I asked the tail singer to bring her forward?
Bringing her forward tonight would not be the best idea. But I can stick around in the Umbra, and we can do that another time. I do not have to return. I know my way around. As I said, I have looked in on my family.
Estella's gonna look over to Bailey, and she's gonna ask him, what are the chances of ruining the evening if she comes forward?
Who did she look to?
Bailey.
Bailey shrugs. I don't know. I'm a Philodox. Nate just kind of like waves his hand.
She's gonna say, Nate, what do you have? What you got?
Well, I'm a Theurge, and she could wreak a lot of havoc if she's as mad as Santiago here is leading us to believe. Chase off all of the other ancestors. We might have to close the ritual early and send her away.
When he hears that, Orad grabs his mom like, no.
I can't separate everyone else for that.
Santiago will smile and squeeze Estella's shoulder. I do appreciate what you're trying to do. I can wait until there is not a lot of other spirits and people here before I am reunited with my sister. I have waited for decades. I can wait a few more nights.
Out of character, is this something that is to happen tonight? Whether she steps into the Umbra to do it, or is this something that's like we've been
I
gone?
did not.
Huh?
What do you mean? I didn't plan for. I told you I wasn't playing her tonight.
Okay, awesome. I was not 100% sure, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I told you earlier, or
Yeah,
yesterday, or whatever, that I wasn't going to play her tonight.
I did want to make sure though, because her thing was made, like her little overlay was made, so I wanted to make sure.
I only did it because I made his, so I had to make hers too.
Okay. Estella's gonna, yeah, she's gonna shake her head and be like, "It's gonna have to be after sunrise. It can't. I'm not gonna separate everybody from their family just for this. Although it's incredibly unfair to you, and
Santiago raises an eyebrow. No, it's not. So how do you think that it's unfair to me?
you've waited for decades. The
I have.
opportunity is possibly right in front of you, and it.
She is also quite insane, and I'm not putting that many people in danger. You're forgetting that she is not of sound mind, even as a spirit. Especially as a spirit that is dangerous. If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were Fiona. Thinking with your heart like that.
I've been around the child of Gaia too much. She brushes it off, like she brushes it off by that, like.
By his tone, he didn't mean any offense to the Fiona there.
I know. Oh, I know. I know.
I'm letting the Fiona player know.
Yeah. No, I get it. Estella's just like.
Oh yeah, Maeve didn't mind. She gets it. They tend to think with their heart a lot.
Crying. Like she's probably still crying. And Estella's gonna. She's gonna welcome him to attach to her the way that his sister has, so that she could easily or possibly find him easier to bring him forward in the next few nights.
He's not going to do that because that could aggravate her and cause her to take over Estella's body.
Okay. She's gonna literally say that. Okay.
Yeah, the insane ancestor flaw is not one to fuck with. You agitate your insane ancestor and they will possess you.
Yeah, she's literally gonna go, okay. And
he's like, nope, we're not doing that either. I know how to find you.
In 2 nights. I want to get this figured out. Like, there's more Shadow Lords coming into the world at this point. There's enough at stake already. Like this, she's like she said that, and then she's like, "This can't happen to another generation of us. It has to stop somehow."
He nods. It does. It's gone on long enough. And he looks to Maeve.
Maeve just blushes a little bit.
I don't want the same fate to befall your children as have every generation of Gonzalez's before.
She nods. Avery will actually kind of look at him. You mentioned Mommy earlier.
He nods.
And Uncle Javier.
I did. He smiles to her. Do you have a question?
Maybe.
Alyssa looks to her daughter. So does Sebastian. And they're just like, go on and ask.
With all of the eyes on her, her face just starts to redden a little bit.
Nate will squeeze her hand reassuringly.
It's like, why? Why does everybody have to be looking at me?
Yeah,
Why?
Estella's gonna pat her on the back from like, or her shoulder, whatever. She's gonna be like, "It's all good."
They're not Gonzalez's by blood. Why? She kind of furrows her brow a little bit, trying to figure out how to phrase this.
His expression remains neutral, yet when she says they're not Gonzalez's by blood, she does catch a hint of a smirk on his face. Like he has secrets to spill, but he's waiting for somebody to ask about them. He's not going to give them freely.
Wait. They are, aren't they? Somehow. Because you wouldn't have that look on your face if they weren't.
They are. Alyssa's jaw just drops. And she'll say, how?
Wait.
And Sebastian kind of scratches his head.
Estella's kind of got the same face going on. She's like, "What now?" Like
She starts thinking.
I want to see if Avery can figure it out.
You said every generation.
I did.
Marco Gonzalez had a twin, didn't he?
He did.
A twin sister.
Would you like to guess what her name is?
She looks a little confused. Maria. It goes well with Marco.
Indeed. Alyssa, her face goes pale. And she says, "That is my mother's name. It's Maria."
It takes a second to dawn on Avery that means that her father and mother are also
Twins.
technically her aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So they're first cousins or
Well,
brother
no.
and sister?
Alyssa is going to look at Santiago and she'll say, "How?" Your mother and father are twins, Marco and Maria. And Sebastian will look to Santiago and he'll say, "Does that mean that my wife is my sister?" He gives him a little bit of a smile and he shakes his head. "No. You are not Gonzalez by blood."
Avery's eyes widen at that. What do you mean that my papi isn't Gonzalez by blood?
He and his twin sister were raised by Marco, but they are not his. He believed that they were, but they're not.
Then I assume you know whose they are,
I do.
since you seem to know everything.
I've been around a long time. As I said before, I check in on my family and what they get up to, hoping that someone someday would ask the right questions.
So, you want to tell us? She looks to her father first to make sure that he's okay with her asking.
Both her mother and father are shaking. So is Rose. Like, all of their worlds were just kind of fucked up and turned upside down.
Because she doesn't
Bailey,
want to ask if it doesn't look like that.
Bailey has no idea what to think.
Estella is somehow looking stoic. Like she's just like she has maybe two more questions after this fiasco is settled, but that's about it. She's
Right.
just like, how the fuck?
Poppy,
He looks to Avery.
I won't ask if you don't want me to.
I kind of want to know, because all of my life I thought that my father was a monster.
since you know, who is their father then?
Their father is Tolia Petrova, soul of mountains, legend of the Shadow Lords.
Her eyes just go wide.
Yeah, Rez does choke on his drink. Like, what?
I was simply gonna say, if Colleen and them can hear this from wherever they're sitting, she's lightly just rubbing Raz between the shoulder blades. A whole
I mean,
moment.
he doesn't really care, but it's more of a, wow, that's a lot of fucked up shit. I thought my family was fucked up. This is insane.
I mean, they are technically your family.
Yeah, oh, that's true. It's still some insane shit.
Yeah. I'm sure as soon as his father's name was said, he's thinking, God damn it, Dad.
Rose looks like she's going to have a heart attack, and Maeve knows why.
Mm-hmm. Maeve is just like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. And she just reaches over and grabs Rose's hand and squeezes it.
Yeah, she just has tears coming down her cheeks.
In fact, she's probably going to get up off of Bailey's lap and move over and hug her.
She does. Like, not that it actually matters to her that they're her brothers.
Fathers
It's just,
of her children are her brothers.
yeah, that doesn't actually matter to her as much as she wishes that she had known. Like, forever ago. Because she's thinking that if she had known, Tolia may never have kicked her out.
Probably not.
If he knew that she was his. So she's kind of devastated. Especially since now she knows that she was kicked out, essentially kicked out of the family by her father.
Yeah, she's just hugging her very tight and rubbing her back.
Sebastian is holding Alyssa's hand. Is Samara there by chance?
Oh, you bet your ass she is.
Yep. Which she doesn't know where she comes from yet, but
Nope.
Still a whole lot for both of them to process, especially Alyssa learning that her parents are twins. And they aren't who she thought they were. Like, her mother is, her father is not.
Yeah, Samara really wants to hold Sebastian's hand right now, but she can't.
Oh, she could hold his. He's not a Garu.
Fair, but I doubt it's super public knowledge that, they're together. But she's gonna do it anyway.
I don't think Sebastian cares much at that point.
Fair. Yeah. Samara will reach over and hold his hand.
Yeah, and honestly, Alyssa's gonna reach for her other one, because this is a lot.
Yeah.
Estella's gonna see the trio and kind of go in her mind, that's a little Fiona of them.
Right.
And she's gonna she really wants to ask Rose where the fuck her husband went, because
Right.
if I remember correctly, out of character, her husband is a Petrova, isn't he? or something. Someone with a Petrova. Someone nearby with a Petrova. Where the fuck is her husband?
That would be Colleen's friend.
Colleen's boyfriend is a Petrova, but
Okay.
Rose's husband did run out on her.
Did he find out? Like,
She told him about her having 2 other children by the Petrova family, and because there was a lot to the story. You can go watch the scene if you want. But she had a very good reason for not telling him, because she was being stalked by somebody, and he took it entirely wrong and left. He left her, left the sept, his position, his pack, everything.
so still out of character. I'm sorry, I'm not good with family trees.
No, you're fine.
Sebastian, Samara, and Alyssa are together.
Yes. Sebastian has been married to Alyssa for like ever. They've been together since they were kids.
Yeah. And now Samara waltzes in and gets her way in there.
Yep. Dude, no. Okay, we have tried to do family tree is a rabbit hole that we've tried to go down.
Yeah, we attempted a family tree. That was a bad idea.
That was a very bad idea. We wasted a whole night.
And Sebastian and Alyssa are twins.
No, Sebastian and Rose are twins.
Okay.
And Alyssa's twin, Javier, is the one that's missing. And
Okay.
has for like 30 years.
That's what I thought, but why are they just figuring, why is this dude is saying like that there's brother and sister?
No. What he's saying is that Alyssa and Javier are the ones who are the Gonzalezes, not Sebastian and Rose. Sebastian was the Gonzalez that was supposed to be Marco's son. But he and Rose are not. Alyssa took Sebastian's last name when they got married. Her last name was Ruiz, because that was the father that raised her. That was his last name.
Okay. I'll have to catch up on that later, but because that's too much of a mind fuck for me out of character right now. Like I can't. That's not being put together in my head for some reason. And but in character, Santiago, Estella is gonna ask. She's gonna look at Santiago and just ask him. She's gonna say, "Do any of the rest of us here have anything we need to know about in our family trees, or that we should know about in our family trees?" Because she
Santiago will look to her and he'll tilt his head a bit. What do you mean? I only
Bailey's
know
gonna
of my
look
own.
at him.
I only know of my own and immediate affiliation.
I assume she means, are there any surprises for the rest of our little family?
Exactly. For instance, is my father my biological father? Have I got a twin? Am I a Gonzalez by blood? And like the questions kind of start like falling out. She's like, is my mother really like normal human, or is she like a kinfolk of some sort? She's like it's kind of word vomit at this point.
Everything you know is truth, because you didn't have Marco dabbling in your life the way that they did. Your father made sure he got away. The reason why their lives are as messed up as they are is because of Marco.
This man isn't still alive, is he?
No.
She
Bailey.
asked that flatly, and she's gonna just respond, "Good."
No, he started a war in Argentina. He wanted to wipe out all of the Silverfangs and almost succeeded.
Oh, that's the one. She's literally sitting here like this, like she's 100% mind fucked, and she's like, "That's the one." Okay. And she's gonna look at him again, and she's gonna say, I don't have a twin."
You don't have a twin.
Wait.
Okay.
Was Uncle Emiliano actually Gonzalez, or is that something else that was conveniently left out?
No, he is. He is Marco's child.
She will just nod a little bit.
I can only think of one more question before we all numbly drag you over to the food table to eat and act like this never happened. Do you have any clue where Javier could be?
Javier is in the realm of Malpheus.
Samara tenses.
And Bailey will say, but what about my sister? Where's Celeste? She is in the realm of chaos. Flux.
Estella's gonna look at Samara, and she's just gonna look at her like, and she's gonna say, "I assume you know about this realm."
Malpheus? Of course I do.
Would you be willing to travel with me there?
She goes almost a little green at the thought of going back there.
Alyssa squeezes her hand almost in apprehension, like she doesn't want to let her go.
This is to bring
What-
your twin brother back, yes. She looks to Alyssa.
She has tears just fucking pouring.
Estella's gonna get up and go hug her. Samara.
Yeah, Samara's gonna look over at Alyssa. This is to bring your brother back, yes.
Yes, but if... what if...
Then I'll go.
Estella's gonna look Samara in the eyes, and she's gonna say, "I'm going to find. We're gonna have a third person with us. It's not gonna be just two." Isn't she a Therge?
Yes, she is.
It's not gonna be just two Therges. We're gonna. I think I'm gonna have Leon go with us because he helped us the first time. He's the strongest one that I know. I'm gonna have him go with us as well. If not him, somebody else who's strong enough.
She does still look a little ill at the thought of going back to Malpheus. Never thought I'd be going back to that place.
I can always cry.
What was just said?
Alright, we'll say I can always try.
Stella's gonna ask him if he has any physical training.
I'm an Aryan.
What now?
He says I'm an Aryan. I was trained to fight all my life. For my rite of passage, I fought 2 other cubs to the death. And he looks down when he says that. Like, not a good memory.
Or his mother will squeeze his shoulder.
If you feel compelled to come with us and you feel like it's something you're able to do and you want to do and you don't, I don't want to put you in danger. Leon's kind of a dick. I can put him in danger.
If anyone will be able to help you in there, it's me. It's not a pleasant place. It's not a place that many people ever come back from. Not the same way they went in anyway.
Alyssa just swallows.
As Stella kind of gulps as well, and she's like, "We have to try." And like she's gonna squeeze Orat's shoulder. Probably has to reach up to do so because she's like all of 5'4". But she's like, "We're gonna try."
But if it means reuniting you two, as she looks over at Alyssa, then I'll do it.
And Stella's gonna go back over to Santiago, and she's gonna say, before we get to that, though, in order to have the best possible chances, I'm going to bring your sister through before that day happens, and then I'll bring you through as well.
He'll nod.
Oh, trust me, you'll need a lot more than a couple of days to prepare for this. This is no small undertaking.
I know it isn't. That will be probably a month's preparation, weeks at least. But the goal at the moment.
There's no way I can truly prepare you for what you'll see down there. It's not possible, but I can make sure you're as prepared as I can feasibly get you.
That would mean the world to me. And if you could also help prepare Orat, as he hasn't seen it yet either, it would mean the world to us.
I would be surprised if either of you had.
So someone who has been listening will step forward, and she will... Hang on, let me find her overlay. She'll look to Samara, and she'll look to the rest of the assembled. I've been to Melfius. Had to go for the very same reason that you are going now, to rescue somebody.
You've had to go?
I did, when I was Cleith. It is not, as she says, it's not pleasant. The things that you will see and hear would drive you mad.
I feel as if I have to be a little mad to go there in the first place.
You kinda do.
This is a entirely different madness. Trust
It
me.
is. She squeezes Samara's hand. She doesn't even want to imagine what she went through. She's been there one time, essentially as a spectator, and you know,
Yeah. Samara went 5 times.
yep. I could help you as well. I have perfect memory, so I remember everything about the realm, where everything is, how to get in and out.
As many times as I've gone, I should hope I know how.
Any aid at all would be appreciated. Estella's very grateful. Like, we can, like, that's obvious at this point. Like,
I think the more of us that know, that have been there and know how to get around, the better.
Samara nods.
I never thought I'd ever volunteer to go back there.
Trust me, neither did I. Oh, by the way, this is the first time Raz has ever seen Samara.
Yeah, he's kind of staring at her. Like, almost like he's studying her features.
Colleen is looking between them.
Colleen probably has a good idea of why, because she's met Katya.
She looks just like Katya. Yeah,
Oh,
he nudges Colleen and he leans into her and says, "Do you not see it?"
I mean, I've met her before. What am I trying to see here?
She looks just like Katya, my sister.
So
That
much
is
so that
true.
Paul thought they were the same face claim.
Do you want to try to talk to her when they're done with the serious conversation?
Yeah, may as well.
I've got your back, she'll say, and then lay her head on Raz's shoulder.
Yeah,
No.
Samara is probably going to kiss both Sebastian and Alyssa on the cheek and get up and walk away because she needs to take a breath. This is a lot.
Yep.
it is.
Because never in her life did she think she'd be going back there. Never.
So I'm actually going to take a minute to do this. Alyssa will give her a minute, but then she is going to follow her. And she's going to look to her. You don't have to go.
She will move over and put a hand on her cheek. I'm doing this for you.
I know you are, but I don't want to lose you.
You won't.
You can't promise that.
I danced the spiral 5 times. I know my way around that hellhole like the back of my hand. If anyone can help them, it's me. No one is prepared for this like I am.
Then I need 2 things from you.
Of course.
1, I want you in my pack.
Of course.
And 2, if Javier can't be saved, don't bring him home.
If he can't be saved, I'll do what needs to be done.
She just nods and wraps her arms around her.
Samara just hugs her back.
And my stubborn daughter.
Don't worry, I'll help get her back too.
Why did she think going off on her own was a good idea?
Because you would have done the same. She's just like you, I'm sure.
She just gives her a look. I did do the same before I had kids.
See?
I stopped looking after I had the twins.
See? Just like you. I don't even know her yet.
She just smiles.
I suppose we should talk to, at the very least, Bailey and Avery after this. They're not stupid.
They already know. Well, Avery does.
She'll nod.
Avery saw it. Called me and Sebastian out about it.
I'm sure that went well.
Actually, it did.
Really?
She said as long as we're happy.
Well, I know I am. I certainly hope you two are.
You've made us happier than I think we thought we could possibly be.
We should get back.
We should. And she will briefly hold her hand.
I need a very, very stiff drink. Which these two will be finding out real soon, too.
Mm-hmm. So, I suppose put Raz on the screen. Which, as you know, they go over to get a drink.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, being fucking Russian, she pours herself a very stiff vodka.
Of course she does. And Raz just kind of nods. And he goes, fuck. And that's all she hears.
I'm about to message you, Lindsay, what she's going to whisper to Raz.
Oh, shit. All right.
whisper catching help with this?
Yeah.
She's trying to muster courage at the moment, but she is so fucking shy. So she's just whispering shenanigans.
Raz licks his lips. And he'll whisper back to her.
I
not
love how frantic the typing I hear as you're talking is.
He'll whisper back to Colleen, I'm not the one that needs to be brave.
She kind of smirks. She goes, I don't see you claiming or marking me yet. And she'll give him a little push towards Samara.
He shakes his head. And Shayna will BRB.
I figured. She's like just standing behind Raz, having his back. Because, family matters.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we all know she's getting her ass spanked.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she likes it.
We'll find out.
Jesus, Lindsay.
What?
Just that low voice of, we'll find out. If anyone can't tell, the ST is the devil on my shoulder. It tells me, do it, just do it.
I mean, usually, yeah.
So if Hannah really wants to know, does she need to make a roll or something?
No. Whisper catching is an automatic. She just has to spend willpower to activate it.
It's been a week since the last scene. She's got her willpower back, so
Yep.
yeah, she's fine. She can
So,
sense one.
yeah, she's close enough to hear everything.
Because Shadow Lords are noisy fuckers.
And like, who were the two people who were whispering?
Oh, Colleen and Raz.
Okay, I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
There you go.
Yep.
That's not the gist of the flirtiest she's been with him yet.
That's fucking hilarious.
Which is amazing. And he's gonna be like, all right.
So you're gonna
And he said back to her, I'm not the one that needs to be brave.
So what you'll hear from Estella is a very, very muffled like snort as she's pouring herself whiskey, because like that's pretty much all she drinks, and it's a bunch of that and a little bit of cider. Like,
Nice.
I might have to leave soon, by the way.
That's fine. We were gonna, after this interaction with Raz and Samara, I was gonna end this scene anyway because it's been going almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or before leave, Orad will probably tell his mom that he might have meet someone. He just needs to have a date first, and if everything goes well by next year, he'll try to have her back and introduce her.
Aw. Well, she will say that she looks forward to meeting her if everything works out.
He'll nod excitedly. There's a bit of a childish, when a kid nods about something he's excited about. This is this is what he's doing. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for the scene.
You're welcome. Bye. Thanks for sticking it out.
It's okay. Yeah.
And now there were just us. Welcome back. We missed you.
She's back. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
Disregard that question then.
All I was going to say was after this scene, you'll have fun.
I've had a baby passed out on me for the duration of this scene, so.
Hey, better than Fussy.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Raz will approach Samara and he's going to look to her and he's going to say, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but you look an awful lot like my sister.
She will just kind of raise an eyebrow.
Her name's Katya. He'll pull up his phone. He pulls out his phone and he'll pull up a picture, a selfie of him and Katya.
Her eyes just go wide.
He kind of chews his lip.
Somebody has TV running, by the way.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah. So I'm he just kind of rubs the back of his neck. Wondering if somehow we're related.
Well, unless you have family that are black spiral dancers, I doubt it.
He sort of cringes and he says, my family has been hunted by black spiral dancers for a long time. My mother was kidnapped. She died in a hive.
You speak with an accent. It wouldn't happen to have been a Russian hive, would it?
Duh.
She kind of bites her lip a little bit.
How old are you?
Shit, I forgot exactly how old I made her. I think I made her 35. No,
I
she's
thought it was
26.
20.
She's
Yeah,
26. Yeah, because Maxim is 29.
Mm-hmm. And Raz is 30. He was a baby when she was taken.
26.
I'm 30, almost 31. My mother was taken when I was a baby. About I want to say 26 years ago. My father found the hive where she was, and by the time he got there, she was gone.
I Do you know what hive he found her at?
What was the name of it out of character again? I forgot.
That is what I am looking up
Looking
now,
up.
because I can't remember. I know it was one of the 2 Russian ones, and it had something to do with, nuclear, because... fuck my life. Oh, good grief. Hive of the Glowing Sea.
That's what it was. I knew it was something C. I couldn't remember. He nods. My father is a Galliard. I ask him this story actually a lot. It's Hive of the Glowing Sea.
Her eyes widen a little bit. That is the hive I was born at.
Perhaps you are my mother's.
She chews on her lip a little bit.
Alyssa will look to Samara. I could do a rite of heritage if you'd like.
She nods.
She nods. We'll do that tomorrow. Unless you want to know right now.
No, we don't need to know right now.
Razvan will just pour her another vodka.
Unless you want to know. She looks over at Raz.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know.
Raz is pretty sure at knowing things before anyone else does. Well, it's pretty good at.
I can wait for confirmation till tomorrow.
She just nods.
Or the next day. He looks to Colleen. I might be busy.
She kind of blushes some. She goes, "What, you think putting a needle in my back's going to take that long?"
Do you want me to answer that?
Needles.
I'm a tattoo artist.
She'll nod.
And I've been doing a intricate piece on her back.
He's been doing a mural for my older sister, Sky, which I'm sure she's around here somewhere.
Yeah, she's over talking to Saoirse.
Well, it can wait then. Though I would like to talk to you about tattoos at some point.
He'll smile and nod. Of course.
I have
Okay.
something I want covered.
He nods. Well, I'm around. I'm in Leon's band. Leon
She kind of frowns a little bit.
is my sister's mate. So he notices the frown. You don't get along with Leon.
We
Do you have a-
somewhat settled our differences.
Let me guess. You probably had a rough start.
The second he smelled my children, he was ready to go for the jugular.
Raz just kind of holds a finger up and then scratches his head, and he's thinking to himself, I'm just going to ignore how wrong that sounds.
They have...
He tried to kill him that day I was there.
He nods.
They have pure breed for the black spirals, just like I did.
He nods. Well, they're with you, and you don't seem like a threat, so... Anyway, he reaches into his pocket, takes his wallet out, and hands Samara a business card.
She will gladly take the business card. I will definitely look you up.
He smiles. I will be happy to help you. And he looks at the time. He looks to Colleen. Did you want to spend until sunrise with your sister?
She'll look over at her sister. I think she's going to have far more fun spending that time with her lovers and friends than her little sister.
He smiles. But I understand if you wanted to.
I'm going to go say bye to her, and then I'm going to follow you out.
Good, because we still have a little bit of time left in your birthday.
She kind of grins. Yeah, oh, you knew about that, did you?
I pay attention.
What a good boyfriend you are.
He smiles. He actually blushes.
1 for Colleen, 6 for Raz, she says.
Oh, you two are too precious.
She'll go and give her sister a hug and a kiss on the cheek bye, and then we'll inform her parents she's gonna go get more done on the sky mural.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they know what she's doing. They're just, you know what? She's not sulking in her room, so they're not going to care. It's fine.
She's like, but as soon as it's finished, I'll probably be right back in my room, Mom.
I'm sure you won't. It's fine. Just call if you're not going to come home, okay?
I probably will not come home tonight. That is
Okay.
why there's a change of clothes in my bag.
Then I will see you tomorrow. She
Yeah.
just shakes her head. And Sky actually looks at her mom like, whoa, okay, my death really loosened you up.
I took some condoms from your room, Sky, is all she says as she walks off.
It's like, well, I'm not going to need them anymore. And I think with that, we can call this a scene because we've been going 3 hours.
Yes. There went. She had hoped to embarrass Sky some, even though she was dead, but it didn't work.
It's funny. She gets an A for effort. So thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.